Hi everyone, I am here with a Bible study. I hope you guys are having a good night. I am late tonight. It's after 10 o'clock, probably going on 11 p.m. It's late tonight. So let's see here. Tonight we are going to be in the book of Matthew, Matthew chapter 9. Let's see how long Matthew chapter 9 is here. Not very long at all. And the writer of the devotion tonight is Grace Fox. We have read many from her, as you know. And the verse that goes along with her devotion is Matthew chapter 9, verse 9, which says, "As Jesus was going down the road, he saw Matthew sitting at his tax collector's booth. 'Follow me and be my disciple,' Jesus said to him. So Matthew got up and followed him." So we'll put that aside for now. Guys, look at my squishy ball that I got. It's sticky on the outside. You see the little spikes? It's got beads in it. It's really squishy. I got it at the Dollar Tree. $1. I had one before, but I busted it accidentally. All right, so in chapter 9, we'll be reading about Jesus heals a paralytic, the calling of Matthew, Jesus questioned about fasting. You know, the teachers of the law are going to start running their mouths about that. A dead girl and a sick woman. And Jesus heals the blind and mute. Oh, and the workers are few. Yes. All right, so let's get started. Jesus stepped into a boat, crossed over, and came to his own town. Some men brought to him a paralytic lying on a mat. When Jesus saw their faith, he said to the paralytic, "Take heart, son, your sins are forgiven." At this, some of the teachers of the law said to themselves, "This fellow is blaspheming." Knowing their thoughts, Jesus said, "Why do you entertain evil thoughts in your hearts? Which is easier to say, 'Your sins are forgiven,' or to say, 'Get up and walk'? But so that you may know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins." Then he said to the paralytic, "Get up, take your mat, and go home." And the man got up and went home. When the crowd saw this, they were filled with awe, and they praised God who had given such authority to men. As Jesus went on from there, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the tax collector's booth. "Follow me," he told him. And Matthew got up and followed him. While Jesus was having dinner at Matthew's house, many tax collectors and sinners came and ate with him and his disciples. When the Pharisees saw this, they asked his disciples, "Why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners?" On hearing this, Jesus said, "It is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. But go and learn what this means. I desire mercy, not sacrifice, for I have not come to call the righteous, but sinners." Then John's disciples came and asked him, "How is it that we and the Pharisees fast, but your disciples do not fast?" Jesus answered, "How can the guests of the bridegroom mourn while he is with them? The time will come when the bridegroom will be taken from them. Then they will fast. No one sews a patch of unshrunken cloth to an old garment, for the patch will pull away from the garment, making the tear worse. Neither do men pour new wine into old wineskins. If they do, the skins will burst, the wine will run out, and the wineskins will be ruined. No, they pour new wine into new wineskins, and both are preserved. While he was saying this, a ruler came and knelt before him and said, "My daughter has just died, but come and put your hand on her, and she will live." Jesus got up and went with him, and so did his disciples. Just then a woman who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years came up behind him and touched the edge of his cloak. She said to herself, "If I only touch his cloak, I will be healed." Jesus turned and saw her. "Take heart, daughter," he said. "Your faith has healed you." And the woman was healed from that moment. When Jesus entered the ruler's house and saw the flute players and the noisy crowd, he said, "Go away. The girl is not dead, but asleep." But they laughed at him. After the crowd had been put outside, he went in and took the girl by the hand, and she got up. News of this spread through all the region. As Jesus went on from there, 2 blind men followed him, calling out, "Have mercy on us, Son of David." When he had gone indoors, the blind men came to him, and he asked them, "Do you believe that I am able to do this?" "Yes, Lord," they replied. Then he touched their eyes and said, "According to your faith will it be done to you." And their sight was restored. Jesus warned them sternly, "See that no one knows about this." But they went out and spread the news about him all over the region. While they were going out, a man who was demon-possessed and could not talk was brought to Jesus, and when the demon spoke, the crowd was amazed. Oh, sorry, wait, I messed up. Let me start that part over. While they were going out, a man who was demon-possessed and could not talk was brought to Jesus, and when the demon was driven out, the man who had been mute spoke. The crowd was amazed and said, "Nothing like this has ever been seen in Israel." But the Pharisees said, "It is by the prince of demons that he drives out demons." So ignorant. Jesus went through all the towns and villages, teaching in their synagogues, preaching the good news of the kingdom, and healing every disease and sickness. When he saw the crowds, he had compassion on them, because they were harassed and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, "The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into his harvest field." And that's where chapter 9 stops. It's basically saying there's a lot of people out here in this world that need to be saved. But the people, the workers, the people who are trying to bring people to Jesus are fewer than the people that are brought to Jesus, you know. The workers are few. Okay, so now let's read Grace Fox's devotion. Oh, my mouth's so dry tonight. The faith community in which I grew up focused on following religious rules. Card games were banned, as were movies and dancing. I was pulled from gym class when the teacher introduced square dancing. Oh, wished I would have been. I hated that. After high school graduation, I attended a Bible college with a strict adherence to rules. Contemporary worship music was forbidden, as were earrings and makeup. Speaking to a student of the opposite sex without permission almost guaranteed a visit to the dean's office. Jeez. For years, I equated being a good rule follower with being a good Christian. Over time, Jesus revealed the error in my thinking. When he extended an invitation to someone, he never said, "Come, follow a long list of rules designed to make you a better Christian." He said, "Come, be my disciple, follow me." Following religious rules doesn't make us mature believers. It makes us fearful of the consequences for breaking them and judgmental towards those who don't adhere to them. In contrast, following Jesus places the emphasis on a relationship with him. When that friendship becomes our focus, everything else falls into place. Here's the irony. Being Jesus' disciple means we follow rules designed to make us better Christians. But his rules are different than man's. Man-made rules lead to fear and legalism. Christ's rules develop our spiritual maturity and lead to intimacy with him. Okay, and her homework is identify one man-made rule you think makes you more godly. Ask Jesus to free you and teach you how to follow him. So if you guys want to do that, of course. But I think we're going to stop there for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the Bible study, and I hope you guys get a good night's sleep. I'm heading to bed too soon, so good night.